It's about time I did another channel introduction, because the old channel introduction is dumb, and this one's going to be dumb as well, but it's going to be newer than the old channel introduction, which I believe was in the first season, and we are now almost 100 episodes into the second season, so we might as well have a new channel trailer. So welcome to the channel, new people. This is what, fucking hell. This is a channel trailer. YouTube wants you to have one of these because it is the thing that people show you things. So, yeah. This channel, this is called Zeke.D. Dilligaff means, do I look like I give a frick? F officially stands for frick, because YouTube doesn't like curse words anymore. So, do I look like I give a frick? And it more symbolizes my apathy towards almost everything. As of currently, right now, October 9th, 2016, there are 4 shows that I do on the channel. The one that you're hearing right now is Valkyrie Crusade, where I say that name wrong. I think. Yeah, that's wrong. It's Valkyrie, but I say Valkyrie because that's how I've said it since the first time I read it, and then I just don't care. And nobody fucking corrects me. I say it very, very little, but nobody really cares enough to correct me because I don't know if they're certain about how it's said either. So I say Valkyrie. Yes, where I play this every day, and I talk about whatever the fuck. Right now I'm talking about myself, which is weird, but it actually happens pretty often. I'll also talk about, I don't know, really anything. YouTube drama, if it's caught my attention, or, I don't know. I don't really talk about politics, is one thing. I really, there are so many things that could be said, but I feel like everybody else is already saying them, so why the fuck do I need to say anything? And also, my audience is not mostly American, I don't think. There's a large populace of American audience, but I feel like even out of those, the audience themselves they don't care as much about the politics. Even though they should, it doesn't matter, and anyone that isn't in America, they may be interested, but it doesn't matter. It's just, Donald Trump's an idiot. Hillary's a liar. I don't trust either of them. There you go. That's my political opinion. So I may talk about politics. I may talk about whatever comes to mind as I'm doing this, because I do this show completely live, almost live in the sense to where I don't edit anything, and it's all as is, and it pops into my head and I say it, and it's a ridiculous format, but people like it. It's a great show to just have something to listen to. So if that's something you're interested in, then stick around, maybe subscribe. But that's VC, that's Valkyrie Crusade. The other 2 shows are Kumiraska Nanika and The Rising of the Shield Hero, and they are both just readings of a web novel. I believe they're both web novels. One of them has a web novel and a light novel, and I'm not sure which one I'm reading. I think the website or the translation I'm using comes from the web novel. And they're both, they're good fun stories. I recommend checking out either of them because, they're pretty cool. Kumo is actually going through some pretty crazy shit right now. Like, there's a war going on, completely outside of the main character, but she's gonna be involved eventually. I don't even know. Shield Hero, it's cool. It's a pretty cool story. I like doing Shield Hero because every now and then, and I did it today even, when I recorded, I will just get really upset at the main character, and that's just a lot of fun to do, because sometimes he's just an absolute fucking idiot. But it's still a pretty good story. And there are pretty girls in it, so yay. And then the fourth show is One and Done, is what I call it, because I wanted something unique to call it besides One Shot or One Off, or the common ones. So I chose a slightly longer one as to have something unique to call it, and that is usually every week, Friday or Saturday, is when it'll come out. It depends on whether or not I even get around to doing it, because sometimes I just straight up forget. Sometimes I'm not really feeling like just doing it at all. But a lot of those are very hit or miss. There are some that I definitely enjoy doing, and if it's a game that you already know about, or the title intrigues you, then I recommend checking out a few of those. Powder Game was just like the fucking best game I've ever played on the channel. I had so much fucking fun with that game. That game is just pure fun. If you want to see me goofing off and having fun, that's that game. I was told a great video to watch is the one where I did a puzzle game, almost. It was physics puzzles, and just my solutions were very clever and entertaining to watch. So I mean, check that one out if you want. But yeah, those are the 4 shows, and that was the channel introduction, I guess. And now we can get to the real video, which, I mean, we've been doing, but yeah, as just a hint, if you're still sticking around and you're just somehow brand new to the channel, and this is the first video you're watching, from here on out, it'll be kind of like what all of my videos are like, and I guess a bit of catch up on my life and myself. Currently, I am completely jobless besides YouTube, because I am also still kind of a child. I'm 17 and I'm in school, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just not doing fantastic at school either. My goals, I guess, are actually to play a lot more piano, to get really good at piano, and to make music, to do a lot more of the creative thing, because that's what I enjoy. I enjoy doing this, and I enjoy playing the piano. So, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I know I should try to put a lot more effort into school, but right now I just, so that's that, and you may hear a lot about that, especially recently, because, you know, it's just what's been going on in my head, just, you know, just worrying about school and shit, but, so that's that. I have a Wii U, and nothing else. As for video, no, I have a Wii U and a 3DS. I don't play with my 3DS very often, but I use my Wii U every day, almost every day, but not for video gaming, for watching YouTube videos, because the Wii U is one of the best places to watch YouTube videos or anime through the Wii U web browser, because you can watch it either on your TV or on your gamepad, and your gamepad is like a tablet where you can just sit and watch YouTube videos, but it's like super comfortable to hold, and it has a stand thing that you can use, so it's like better than a tablet almost, except the screen is not super huge. I think when I did have a tablet, the tablet screen was bigger than the Wii U, but I still ended up using the Wii U gamepad for YouTube just because of how holding it was just so awesome, and like it doesn't get super hot like a tablet would. But yeah, games I do play are Lost Reavers, which is really terrible. And there was a time where I talked about that like every day, because I was grinding like a motherfucker every day, because, gosh, I don't remember the numbers, but I definitely spent a lot of hours into that game. I think the top, or like the total is maybe like 60, I think. And then there was one day where I did 9 hours in one day, in one session. Although I feel like I didn't, like, there was at least a half hour of that where I just sat it down and I texted, or I think I had to eat at some point. So probably about an hour of that wasn't actual gameplay, but I did put a serious amount of time into that game, even though it is absolutely terrible. And if you want to hear me talk about that one a lot more, there are episodes titled Lost Reavers. And, fuck, I think there are like 3 of them titled Lost Reavers, because there was that long time where that was all that I was doing. I think it's like, it's don't play Lost Reavers, and then maybe play Lost Reavers, and then there's one that's called, Lost Reavers, I think, is what that's called. Probably. I think there are 3. There are 3 that have Lost Reavers in the title, and I feel like there's one in between that doesn't have Lost Reavers in the title, but I probably mentioned it anyway, because there was like a good week where I was seriously doing that. Also, Tide is fucking hot, and I missed out on getting that card. She was one of the summon rewards, though. Another thing that I will do when I make these videos is I will just talk about some shit, and I'll just be talking, and then something will happen in-game, and I will completely break the story to mention the thing that's happening in-game, and then go right back into the story, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. And you're gonna have to get used to it. Otherwise, I don't know. Yeah, channel trailer. That's what this is. That's what this still is. What else do I do? I don't know. That's pretty much it. You know, I just talk about anything that comes to my mind. So today, what did I do today? Today, I started the day out at my dad's house because that's where I went to sleep last night. That's where I was. Today I'm back at my mother's house, but I was at my dad's house and I watched some movies, or I watched a movie and then we watched a football game, but I wasn't actually watching, I was just playing Smash on my sister's Wii U because I don't give a shit about football. But you know, we hung out and we went to Wendy's, and then he brought me back here, and then like I talked to my brother for like an hour about school and shit, so that's, you know, it's back in the brain again. He's a lot less aggressive with it, perhaps a bit more understanding. So that's cool. I don't think he's going to take all of my things away. I don't know. I need that fucking debuff, please. See, that's what, there it is again, talking about the game. Because this character, this thing that I'm fighting right here, this little bitch, she, field, sorry, I say debuff instead of field sometimes, because what she's doing is she's taking away your buff, but they're completely different things. Either way, what she can do is she can take away any buffs on us or debuffs on her. But the thing about this one and a few others, especially right now during these events, Minet, the current owners of this game, like to give these characters a thing where they are guaranteed a debuff almost immediately after, or guaranteed a field, sorry, almost immediately after either a debuff on them or a buff on us, which is absolutely ridiculous and extremely annoying, but there are ways to work around it. I guess you just have to plan for it. So if you don't know anything about VC, it almost doesn't matter. There are times where you will be confused, and there are times where you will have no fucking clue what I'm talking about, right? Because there are so many things that I'm going to talk about, and I make videos every day, and you're not expected to watch every video every day. If you are, I fucking love you, and you're great. If you don't, it's, you know, it's still the same, and I love you. Kind of. I don't know. I don't like to say that I love you, because I love, as a whole, I appreciate that I have an audience, but as an individual, I can't say that I love you because I don't know you. But I can still love the fact that you like my videos. If you do. This is still a channel introduction, so you may be a complete stranger, and therefore, why would I love you? I have no reason to love you. But yeah, enough about love. we can discuss the idea of love in the future. I mean, it's a hell of a topic, but no, she's gonna have more attack. What the fuck was I talking about? I don't remember. I actually don't remember. Was I talking about the game? No, I was talking about your like ability to keep up with everything I'm talking about. And there are times where I will mention things that just happened in older episodes, or in episodes you didn't see, or just like completely irrelevant. And I don't know. I mean, the best advice is to just roll with it and almost ignore it. Because if it's not at all relevant to you, then I don't know. But I'll just do that. It'll just happen. So just, yeah. Why am I talking about this? See, there's that debuff. She was frozen before that, but I knew it would. Yeah, I knew it would happen. That's why I didn't want to use her skill on the end here. I believe that's Demi. Yeah, that's Demi-Rouge. I didn't want to use her skill because her skill is actually a random skill, where it's like 7 different skills that it could be, and one of them is a buff. And if she did her 400% attack buff, 200% defense buff, and then she woke up and fielded that immediately, that would be a huge loss. But we didn't even get the buff anyway. But just in case, it's a good idea to, you know, make sure. Demi is definitely like one of my best cards, but she's also, I can't use her very often because she's it's like super random. I'm using her in this team because this team isn't even supposed to be, you know, attacking anything. This is actually my dueling team, because the one in the center is a auto skill debuff after an attack. So if I get no skills at all, I can debuff the other team, and then the team will do less damage in case they do an AoE where they attack everybody, or just any attacks in general, they will do less damage. And then the ones surrounding her, we have 300% damage to all enemies, unable to move 4 turns. That is a duel winner, and so is this one, 500% damage. Very powerful, very deadly. This one most definitely a duel winner because of the 4-time freeze. So even if the enemy just happens to survive it, be it out of a shit ton of defense, which is extremely unlikely because Demi on the end there has a 100% up attack for all team, and I forgot her name, Nagatsuki, in the center, I believe that's who that is, has a 50% attack all team, so they're very, very strong, and that team just kills. And the one I skipped over was an alchemist that has an unleash. This team is a ranking team. We have 2 buffers on the end, I believe both 250. This one's attack and defense. This one's attack 250, defense 250. This one's passion only buff, which is like kind of a bad thing in some scenarios, but it's actually really good in this scenario because when she buffs these two, the only 2 passions, they do a shit ton of damage, but you don't want to do a lot of damage in this scenario. What you want to do is whittle the enemy down to a low amount of health and build up a lot of buffs so that your main skill right here, right in the middle, which does 7 times damage, well, 40% damage 7 times, can deal a shit ton of damage, the maximum amount of damage, 7 times, giving you the highest amount of points, which is why this is a ranking team. Even though I don't care that much for ranking, it still keeps me up there even when I play like once a day, which is what I do. So it keeps me around the 4,000s, which is like what I used to average if I fucking like really tore ass and just really went crazy and played all day with like my old teams, which used to be shit. I started this channel when I was like almost a month into the game, it felt like. Maybe less than that. Yes, less than that. I started the account on the 21st, and I started the channel on either the 28th or the 29th, so it was within like 10 days, 9 or 10, 8 or 9, I don't remember how numbers work. So yeah, I was pretty shitty back then, but you know, through the almost year that I've been playing this, I've accumulated some pretty good cards, or pretty good maidens, sorry, through events as well as summons here and there. Probably put, I don't know, I want to say $200 total into this account. Maybe less, maybe more, I'm not sure, I don't keep track. But yeah. Yeah. So I got pretty good teams, but I started out pretty shit. And if you want some tips on early gameplay, then that's there, you know. Otherwise, this is not a good place to go for gameplay tips in general, because that's not as much what I talk about. If you want gameplay tips, go to Zhuagu or that other guy that I never remember the name of. Maybe Sonata? I'm honestly not entirely sure what Sonata does. When I describe what Sonata does, I say that he shows off. Sonata, just in case you're coming from almost nowhere and you don't know who Sonata is, he plays VC as well, but his videos are just, really high-level gameplay, because he just, like, has a lot of really, really good teams, spends a lot of money to get really good maidens. So his videos are just high-level gameplay. That's all they are. And they're useful in a sense to where, like, you can see what maidens work really well with others, and, like, what works well in fights and things like that. So they're cool. Also, it always has really good music. His videos always have really good music. That is definitely something I can say. And also, he's just a pretty cool dude from what I've talked to him. So that's Sonata. Go subscribe to him. I think there's a link to him from my channel. If you're on desktop, there should be a link. But yeah, I have a Patreon, but I don't know if it works. So I'm just gonna fucking forget about that. But it exists. It's just really dumb because, as I mentioned, I'm 17, so PayPal doesn't like me very much. So I don't even know how any of that works. Eventually, I will be able to prove to PayPal that I'm an adult. Currently, I cannot prove to PayPal that I'm an adult because I'm not an adult. But as soon as I can prove to PayPal that I'm an adult, they will let me do things, and then I can have money. So that's the situation, right? I guess we're about around the time where I would usually end the episodes. The episodes range from 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I try to keep them in between like 20 and 25. Sometimes they reach 30 if I get stuck on a topic that I just want to talk about. And there are topics that I could just talk about for hours and hours. But otherwise, yeah, that's the channel. I hope for, to be releasing music or covers eventually. When I get better at that, and when I decide that I don't hate my computer, which is, I don't know, gonna be a long time. Unless if I get a new computer, then that shit just it's just almost immediately gonna happen. So if you wanna hit me up and donate, so that I can get a new computer, it would have to be I don't know entirely how. I mean, I think you just buy me one off Amazon, I think is a thing that can happen. Not gonna beg you to. It doesn't really matter that much. I think it was either my birthday or Christmas, but I think it was my birthday. I had actually I had left a link to my Amazon wish list and told people to buy me things, almost as a joke. Pretty much mostly as a joke, because I didn't think anyone would, and no one did. It didn't matter that much. Most things were very trivial and dumb. But someone took great offense to it for some reason. I don't know why, but they, like, super freaked out on me. Like, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't ask people for things. Never ask people for things. Why are you gonna beg people on YouTube to buy you things? And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, that's another thing, too. Like, I don't care that much. It's in the name, Dilligaff. If you're gonna come with a comment trying to say some mean shit or some dumb shit, I don't know, I'm gonna tell you that you're being an idiot if you're being an idiot. So I don't get that very many mean comments, mostly because everybody likes me, because people are scared. And with the format of the show, I can immediately within a day, if somebody tries to say some shit, I can within a day respond to it and let them know that they're being an idiot. So don't do that. But this is about how long I would make the episode. Just reminding you that this is still kind of a channel trailer. What is it, 25 minutes, 24 minutes? So yeah. Subscribe if you want to, if you want to keep up with the channel. Pop in every now and then. Leave a comment, or whatever. Leave a comment on this video if this is the first video that you're seeing of mine and you made it all the way to the end. That'd be fucking great, If you just watch the channel trailer because you're like, oh, what's this guy? Oh, here's a channel trailer, and then you ended up watching all the way to the end, and then you subscribed. Leave a comment if you subscribe because of this video. Then I know that this video is good and worthy of being channel trailer. Yeah, cool. Take care of yourself.